all 3 days of life. And the reason is that this person did something really bad in the life before. So the person had bad karma, so will be punished in the next life.
Punished in the sense the negativeness takes its shape, basically.
Okay.
Then
so but would this mean that in the next life the person has positive energy? Because,
maybe.
When the only thing the person did in his life was dying, what kind of energy is created, or how?
Most probably positiveness is there, but throughout the samsara we would have created a lot of negative energy and a lot of positive energy. We don't know the balance, the scale, the percentage. We never know how much this is. So whatever needs to take place after that will take place after that. So it could be positive, it could be the remaining negative.
Okay.
Yeah. Say for an example, a woman had 3 abortions. Then what happens? So basically, she went and killed 3 children. So definitely, she would have something to do with a child or her own life in another birth. So that doesn't mean that from one, she's escaping everything. It means that until that negative energy is 0 minus, it will go on. Maybe in that birth, in a different birth, whichever, it will come back again. Something like this. What if she was a doctor, saving lives, many lives, but she herself has three abortions. So she killed 3 but saved about 100. So that has a positive and a negative energy. But taking life is definitely creates a huge amount of negative energy. So that will come. But maybe she would be saved. Something like that. Or her own child. That also happens a lot. The worst is not for me to go through something. For a person that I love, when that person goes through something, I suffer even more. It can come up in that as well. But for that person has had a negative or positive thing for that person. It's always individual. The system is entirely individual. That's why I say it does not belong to any social standing or any country or any planet rather. Of course, having said that, there's this point as well. Now, people who like to listen to Dhamma talks has the same kind of mindset. Okay? People who would like to take heroin has that kind of mindset. So the group of people who get attached to each other may have similar karmic effects. Similar. Not exactly, but similar. You understand?
That means that either we're all really good people or really bad people.
This is also a result of definitely good karma. It's trying to find a way out of the system, out of suffering basically. So you would have done something really good in a past life or even this life, whatever, to have that positiveness guiding you through, pushing you through.
Into this place and to this time.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you about quantity. You had mentioned, I don't know if it fits into this talk, but you had said that quantity, we don't even know really what quantity is. And I know in our society we have generally a negative feeling about quantity because it's always compared to quality. Could you talk a little bit about quantity, if it fits in this?
Okay, quantity. It's actually how you define quantity and quality. If you take in life, what would you want? Do you want more years to live, or do you want a quality life to live in. That would define quantity and quality.
What if you can have both?
If you can have both, that's very good.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's either one way or the other. So it's actually not about leading life for 100 years. It's about what you do with the 50 years that you can, really make something productive out of it. Find a way out of this entire mess of suffering, rather than living for 100 years and then wanting another life to do the same things that you could have done this life, and to have the same kind of realizations, to have the same kind of understanding that you can have in this life if you start moment to moment. If you start moment to moment. Okay.
What is quantity exactly?
It depends on what your focus is on. Now, in this focus, I'm taking life as in years, the quantity of number of years, and the quality, which falls in maybe less number of years, but you begin to understand what life is all about and what death is all about. The circles, life and death, and a way out of it. Because otherwise we would be doing the same discussions. Do you know how many times we have done the same discussion? In the same city, in the same country. You think this is the first time? We're doing this? No. I don't think so too. Maybe in that time, I was not the one who was giving the Dhamma talk. Maybe it was somebody else and I was just there listening to it. Trying desperately understand this concept. And then we go about it, life after life, the same city, the same place, the same discussion. Taking it in or rejecting it, taking it in or rejecting it. The decisions are very important, what we make. And maybe next time it would not be me, it would be somebody else who would be giving this discussion. But again we come here, again we listen to the same discussion, same city, same country. If nothing changes within, nothing changes out. It's just the same circle.
So in order to change the world, we have to start by changing ourselves.
The change in our own world, within our mind. That world has to change. Because we'll never be able to change the world, that's for sure. If there was any way, they would have done it before us. Don't you think? Because you know why? We were there then as well, trying to change the world. Same story.
So are we at the peak of our development? And is there going to come a...
How, in what way development? In which way?
I mean...
Socially?
What we've built.
Build as?
This life, our evolution, what we've been...
Humankind, you mean?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Egyptians, if you take that time, they thought that was the peak. And now we come here and say, no, this is the peak.
I mean, this peak, this particular peak, there are many peaks probably in our history, but this peak, we're at the peak, so there will come a fall.
In life, there's always a peak and there's always a fall.
The question is really like if you can reduce it to one number, and I guess that's what we're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we have more technology, we have more medicine, we can cure cancer, but we have a polluted world and we have other stuff, so like, I don't know, maybe you can sum up in a way and say like, well, objectively, everything is
maybe
better,
we are here.
Some things are worse, some things
Exactly.
are better.
That's why I say we are in the peak and we are at the same moment we are in the downfall. And this was the same story. I'm taking Egypt because it's easy to refer to. Nothing with that country. I mean, if you take the civilization, and then now they are discovering in the tombs and in the what do you call it, the pyramids.
Yeah.
There are drawings, sketches of what is this helicopter? The latest helicopter versions that we have now. They have the inscriptions of that there, yeah. And these inscriptions are in Sri Lanka as well. And there is a link between Sri Lanka and Egypt. And the latest discoveries that they're finding, but I'm not sure whether it's right or wrong, but they're saying that Sri Lankans flew over there to build certain parts in the pyramids. They use technology. So this is the thing, this is what I'm saying. And they are now discovering that they had connections with outer world creatures, aliens basically. And they even got technology from them. So at that, if we were at that time, we would think that that is peak. And now we are saying this is peak. So this is the thing. It's in one way it's coming up, and in another way it's coming down. Even at that time it was coming down. Now even in one way it's coming up, in another way it's coming down. So more pollution, more disease, and more unstableness in the mind, more negativity, more positivity in one way, but more negativity in another way. So it's a constant, actually, battle, isn't it?
Is there any possibility that we can end fighting and war in our world?
How? When one group, every person has to be thinking in the same manner, and would they? They wouldn't. Because when one war comes down, another war starts somewhere.
Just like that?
Just like that. Take it. Take the past. Has it ever happened like that? This is called wishful thinking. See?
Because we don't learn from the past.
We don't. And you can't. You know why? Because every person's karma is different. That's the thing. That's the basic of it. No? If there's no Hitler here now, there would be another Hitler in another country, in just a different name. We had something like that in Sri Lanka. And when that ceases, then there's another war in Iraq and Iran and US and that. Now, when that is going down, again there's another thing coming up in Sri Lanka. So it will never be the same, because every person is not thinking in the same thing. That's because every person's consciousness does not work in the same way. That's because the karmic effect is not the same. Now, millions of years, your karma is completely different, my karma is completely different. Her karma is completely different, his karma is completely different. That's why. So how can you balance thousands, millions, trillions of years and karma and lives and whatever? How can we balance all of these things out? It will never happen.
Maybe
It's just an illusion.
Maybe one day we will have actually wars with aliens, and maybe we've done that already. In the
Maybe.
Wow.
This is the thing. When one thing settles down, it's always a different thing. When that thing settles, it always has only these three things: arising, lasting, and falling. Arising, lasting, and falling. That's the only thing.
Like the Roman Empire.
Whichever.
Yeah.
Just different names in different time periods, decades.
What did you say? Arising, lasting, and then falling? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Arising, lasting, and falling. 5 minutes. Any other questions? 2:30. Okay. So now we'll rest for some time. Have lunch and rest. Then 2:30, 3:30, maybe you come. Practice individual meditation, whichever form you like, working meditation or individual practice. From 3:30 to 4, reflection, and actually 4, it's not 3:30 to 5, it's 3:30 to 4, and 4 to 5 we will have the Vipassana meditation. This thing that we discussed, the body and feeling, I will tell you how you're going to analyze it in meditation through the Karmasthana. I think the page is given to you. You have that page, right? The eye is burning. Yeah, that one. If you can just take that and come and meet for the Vipassana.
That's going to be a discussion?
Yeah. Discussion in the sense, I will just go through this and then we will do the meditation with this, using this as a base.
So it's a meditation at 4 o'clock, or is it a lecture?
It's a small lecture plus meditation.
Okay.
It's like I will, it's actually a meditation. I will give you the guidelines on the Vipassana, how to do the Vipassana on this.
Okay.
And then we will practice it. Okay? Okay. Okay.
So that means at 4 we meet at the temple?
Yes, at the temple or here.
Or, yeah, it's
If there's
yeah,
nobody
whatever.
going as a, I don't know whether we have a class or not, different class or not.
Okay, so either there or here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one other question.
Yeah.
You talked about the permanent and do you say temporary?
Well,
The two type of solutions regarding happiness,
Hmm.
and that there are times when it's like kind of open for the permanent thing, and for the other times it's temporary, and I didn't understand.
No, what I mean was we always,
Because it's individual, right?
yeah, individual, and we always take the temporary solution
Okay.
rather than looking for the permanent solution.
And how to find the permanent solution
Is
individual.
Individual, but that is a training that you're getting. How to find the first thing is that to know that there is a permanent solution,
Okay, yeah.
and then how do you find the permanent solution? That's what the discussion is about, because we always tend to go for the temporary solutions, and some of us, we don't even know that a permanent solution actually exists. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
There are many karmas. That's why ultimately we can't change the world. We can only change ourselves.
Yeah, because individual karma, we can't really change. It's up to that person, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can only think about trying to deal with our own karma,
Yeah.
and even that is so much.
Yeah.
It's nice that you could join us for this.
Thank you. Yeah, it's wonderful. I think I think some of these things we talked about last time, the dependent.
Origination. It will be talked about a lot even in future because everything connects to it. You need to know that in order to, progress and learn other things, because it's interconnected.
Everything is.
Everything is interconnected.
And in a certain way, we are all one.
Yeah.
And I wonder, how is it possible that everybody thinks that they're different, that they've forgotten that actually we're all connected, that we're all one?
We are all connected in one way, but we are all different in another way because we take different decisions. We all have our own karmic parts in different things. But we all actually suffer from one thing, and we're actually looking for one thing. We actually suffer from desire, hate, and delusion, and we are just looking for happiness. That's a basic. That's why we are connected in one way. We are one, actually, but we go and mess ourselves up, so we become individual.
But that's what we have in common, all of us.
All of us. We need to find the path, and we need to travel through it and have the strength to do it. So how is your work?
Well, I'm still looking, actually. I'm just, but next week I'm going to a conference in Düsseldorf for managers, to try and approach managers, because I realized that with managers and artists, agents, to approach them, if you call them on the phone, it's not the same like talking to them in person.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So that's why I'm going to try to talk to them. But I realize these people, they have so much power and ego and control, and I just wonder if how to deal with that, how to come to
terms with it.
Yeah.
It's difficult, it's not easy.
And also sometimes I've talked to politicians and lawyers, and the thing is, these people have so much, there's so much in their mind that they've forgotten the idea of love and community and
that's the thing. People get very self-centered very easily. So they lose focus on everything else, which is grounded.
What?
Which is grounded.
They lose their grounding. Also, I think that money plays a very destructive role in our world, because people are so focused on that, and yet they destroy themselves, they destroy their health, they destroy the planet, they hurt other people, and also there are karmic things that happen because
of that.
Yeah, and I've certainly seen in my profession, things that conductors do where they hurt other people, and they either cause suffering to other people or ultimately suffering to themselves. With this whole Me Too movement, that now I see a lot of colleagues actually are having a lot of problems because of things that they did years ago.
Yeah. It always has its way back.
Yeah.
This life or the next, definitely. That's the law of the universe. We can't change that.
That's why I'm trying to find a way to
balance.
Balance and practice my profession, but still be a good person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's what you should aim for. Okay, I will take a rest and come back.
Thank you so much.
Have you been in touch with anybody else, or the ones we had last time? This gentleman, who is this computer guy?
Was he the guy, the tall guy?
Tall one, yeah. I can't remember, John or something like that.
There was one guy who had a difficulty because of his Christian background with this.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
There was also this guy with the earring and the tattoos.
Which one was it?
What was his name? Michael? I don't know.
Which one was it? Philip.
Philip, yeah.
Philip wrote back to me and said that he's not going to be in Germany
Okay.
at this time. No, the other person. I wanted to write his email because he wanted to come this time, but I didn't have his email or anything. I think I will get the emails of everybody this time. Yeah. We had a little bit of a messy program here this time because Peggy was not there. Peggy was not feeling well, as you know. And so there's nobody to get her email.
I've actually been sending her some emails with some health ideas. I'm very interested in health. I mean, just researching a lot and cleansing and detoxing, because I think that also that goes together with seeking enlightenment and meditation.
Of course it does.
And that's because she's so into this, I thought it would be good to help her. Because also she's done so much for me and for this place. But I haven't had so much contact with the people. I mean, I meet different people every time I come here. So
this time I will take everybody's emails and then the program.
The thing is, I find that I'm sitting at the computer writing emails all the time. That's a good.
I have notes. True. Very true. Okay. I will put it back. So we do it here or can we use the temple or shall we do it here? Meditation, 4 o'clock. 1.
No, we have the temple.
You have the temple today?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I will work on the next week or so. We have to figure something out. Yeah, tomorrow we'll probably take this because Julia is.
There's this tablet, I don't know if she knows
Ah.
Yeah, I'll grab this in a minute. But yeah, I grab it when I have it. Okay, fine. So intense, but good. I think that, so now, the news, this building was especially if there's a certain cooking house. So now the monk is very humbly approaching. Guten Tag. Einfach mal, ne? Ja. So, wenn wir uns dann vorher kommen rein. Das ist es auch. Von unten mal nachfragen, wo die Jungs noch sind, aber also vielleicht findet sich da was, wo wir was reintun können. Wir gucken es halt mal, ja. So basically, Julia has to fabric some money to cook for her tomorrow. Yeah. And so the monk has basically told me he's not cooking. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it. So, yes, surprise, everything is there. Who is calling? The monk. That monk. We only have one. Yeah, this one here. Yeah. So Julia has paid Patrick money to cook. So, but she's only cooking for her. I mean, that's why this is the way to do something like this. Doing that now, so I don't. That's why a couple of people after, I don't exactly know whether she called these people also, because a couple of people after that, had resigned also, and one wanted to join her retreat. And actually, funny enough, but see how Dhamma works anyway, these guys had actually talked to her at some point, and she had hung up on them. Also, when she found out it's not her retreat, then she hung up.
Oh.
So, but what can I do? So, let's just see.
What is it?
It's
I mean, how can somebody do something?
It will all, I don't know. I mean, Tessa and her has always been interesting. It's like everything I try to, do that had to do with her, it always backfired on me, so I definitely, no, anyway, I'll go back. Oh. The cat is in my room, so there's definitely a chance she's not in yours. Otherwise, if it's open, she won't see. But it's cute, isn't it? Sivanita very, and Patrick isn't picking up the phone when we call. I'm sure he picks up when the monk calls. That's the thing. He has a deal to go for the market and do this. I mean, Tessa has gotten so much stuff for him. I'm gonna call Tessa. I'm like, you got to be joking me, and I hope you're joking about the situation.
Yeah, better.
Because, that's a joke. Because Tessa told me, no, he's bringing food, and Patrick's coming, but Julia said, no, you're cooking for us, and who knows. I mean, how can you be like that?
In the same retreat.
Yeah, in the same center, how can you be like that? That shows, it just really shows the character, which, to me, again, proves. It proves. I mean, you give a retreat, and next thing after you have 2 beer or 2 wines, so to me, that shows also, so not to judge that.
And it's even worse of Sunita, really. He should say, okay, you're paying him to cook, that's good.
He's in the middle, Sunita doesn't take sides. He's happy that he's here, and he tries to stay out of trouble, because whoever questions things, it's known that they leave, so he knows too. He knows which side to take, and he's struggling this very carefully.
Yeah.
So, no. Yeah, but I can also see, just energy-wise, I know there's a reason I'm being pushed out, because there's other stuff that's happening. But I also have to watch myself, because it's not. I just could really clearly see it in parts of just me sitting, and, I know. But that's why I was saying this place isn't ready for a woman. It never was. It's just like that. Plus then the stuff, and Tessa, in his innocence really giving presents, but then it just causes.
Will you be talking to this somehow?
I'm going to Tessa now.
Yeah, and tell him that whenever Patrick cooks, the remaining will be shared. Obviously.
And Tessa knew that we had to do with the cooking today, and we never questioned that, so it was kind of presupposed that we deal with it somehow, which we are. But that's the thing, eventually then people get worn out, because there's only so much we can handle.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you see how Tobias is putting so much mindfulness in there, and he's really lucky to have that guy.
Yeah.
But eventually, same thing, they get worn out.
This is the thing, Peggy. Let me give you the bills as well.
Yeah.
So I will give it to you today.
Because I have to talk
Yes.
because he said he will transfer it, so he
Yeah.
better figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, and he's told me now he's definitely going to China, and coming from China.
I just can't imagine what's happening. I just no, the thing is, Peggy.
Don't have another word.
Come.